Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing? All right. So happy long weekend here in Canada anyway. Hope you guys have had a restful and or relaxing, exciting weekend. Enjoying time spent alone with you, your favorite person, and or spending time with friends and your tribe members or your family members. Hopefully, whichever route has happened, whether you spent the time alone or you spent the time with others, hopefully that you have found some rejuvenation. Hi, Jocelyn. How you doing? It is good to see you here as well. So I don't think it's a surprise to anybody now when readers come online and we say the energies are still intense. I feel like this is something that is a precedent now that has been set that we may or may not see relief of in our lifetimes in terms of like the intensity of energy. But what's great about that is you can think about that as an electric flow of energy that we can use to our advantage, as well as, when we hit our challenges and are facing those times of evolution and transformation and transition, when an old cycle is ending and a new cycle is beginning. If we're aware of the potency, we can start to utilize it to our advantage. Exactly, right? You can just feel that it's likely not going to go away, so to speak. It's just we're going to assimilate and get used to the new frequencies that are here, the new sort of baseline or threshold. So I do want to talk about a couple of heavy duty energies, but I'm not going to stay, in that for too long. We do have a nice card spread here today, and I'm noticing a lot of soft colors that I've got around, and I've got this kind of druzy crystal here, which is quite beautiful. We've got the smoky quartz here, emerald, a little tiny chunk of emerald. Got some mango calcite. This is a really cute little rock a friend's daughter gave to me. And then I've got the big rose quartz here. I can't remember what this one is, but I think it's rhodonite. It's got nice pink, and so it's like this balance. Anyways, we've got some soft yet really strong energies. And you guys, I was going to say, for those of you who are doing really good, maybe this isn't your reading, but I want to dive into some of these energies. So I've had a lot of conversations with people with regards to feeling, so exhausted and or not necessarily depleted in all ways. It's almost like there's a balance. It's like you feel depleted in the physical, but really strong in the spiritual, or you feel really depleted in the spiritual and then maybe stronger in the physical, or maybe you get to one of those days when it's just like you're powering down, you feel disconnected from, you could, be soulmates, telepathy. There's just 333 on the timestamp as well. And disconnected from your source. Now, sometimes when that happens, it's because you're going through a reset. And I've noticed that happens. So you go through your dark night of the soul, you go through this cycle or this phase. When you're ending a lesson, you don't just bounce right into the new cycle or the new lesson. There's this integration phase that happens in between. And that's so I guess your energies can level out, because when you go through, it'd be like a rocket ship going through, like getting out of the atmosphere, coming back in and hitting the atmosphere. And you get that turbulence, that rockiness, because you're trying to assimilate, you're trying to understand, you're healing, you're releasing, you're going through that purging and shedding. And it's hard to come, from that stage and stabilize right away. It depends on the type of lesson or cycle that you're coming out of. Many of us are coming out of huge cycles of codependency, or a trait or pattern in which we have been kind of that's been established in our lives for quite some time, since childhood. And we would have been repeating this pattern up until very recently. And so breaking that pattern is something very special and celebratory. And it's hard sometimes to celebrate those energies when we're still in the releasing phase and or accepting what is phase. So just so you guys know that it can be very tumultuous. It can be to the extent of having suicidal thoughts, suicidal tendencies, going into your inner child so much so that you're kind of throwing tantrums or you're being bratty, so to speak. Now, what's interesting about this is, in a way, it's to be expected. And in some ways, it's you releasing that energy from the past. And if you think about it, if you're completing a pattern that initiated in childhood and that has been with you and spiraling up, say, codependency or addictions, and or both, right? Because there usually are a mutually inclusive there. But when you're doing that, when you let go of that, you're letting go of a part of your identity. So you're shifting your identity as well as accepting your present reality as it is. And the thing about that is, as you master certain levels of your evolution, your self-discovery, you're just learning basically, your concepts of reality and illusion are going to drastically shift and change. And that's why I wanted to talk about the idea of suicidal tendencies and or giving up. I wanted to focus on giving up, but I also wanted to kind of get into the nitty-gritty in case somebody is feeling like they want to give up because they don't see the reality within the illusion anymore, and or their evolution has brought them to a stage where they're very connected to the divine, very connected to, say, nature or spirit guides or whatever it is for you, God. You can feel very connected and very disconnected simultaneously. And that can get really confusing, whether you're starting out on your journey or whether you're more advanced and you're mastering certain levels of your journey. Now, why I wanted to talk about giving up is because sometimes when people have suicidal thoughts or you want to give up, you're not really wanting to give up or die necessarily. You want to live so bad that you are thirsting to blossom. You are thirsting to expand and soar and thrive, right? It's that energy of wanting to be out of pain, out of suffering, out of stagnancy, and be in that energy of momentum and flow. Now, what happens, and this is part of this stage and why I wanted to kind of illustrate, when you end a cycle, there is this celebratory energy. Your ancestors are celebrating. Your higher self is celebrating. And you might not be able to see this because you're still healing, or you're still in a stage of rationalizing or resisting certain aspects of where you're headed and where you've been. Now, because there's that in between time, we have to be really gentle with ourselves and understand that if you're feeling that energy of wanting to give up or not wanting to be here, that can be this aspect of leveling up in your journey, because you know that the person and the identity that you've held for so long is actually fading away, and you don't understand yet who you are becoming in full. At some capacity, you realize and recognize that you can no longer accept certain behaviors in your life from yourself or others, and that has to do with you leveling up to your worth and your value, and also seeing through the illusions of not only a society, but your family patterns, maybe some family members, issues from childhood that you're finally recognizing and going, oh, okay, that's what this is. You know, this person has these traits and this is who they are. I'm going to accept them as that, but I don't need to accept their limiting beliefs, their limiting behaviors, or their limiting treatment towards me. So many of you have shifted out of jobs, have shifted out of relationships, have shifted away from certain connections, and perhaps you have made a mental shift away from certain family members because they simply are not in a space to support you. And hopefully you have a level of compassion and humility towards them wherever they are in their journey. And recognizing that you may need other people, new tribe members, to assist you to go to the depth or the frequency that you now are in after completing, and you're just at the tail end of completing this cycle and closing it out, and new energies are coming in, new relationships, new friends, new tribe members, new perspectives, formulating new creative ideas and solutions to issues that you haven't been able to really maybe resolve in the past. It's going to be different for everyone. It could be financial. So if you've had financial difficulties, you're now going to experience abundance in a different way. Okay. And you are now more equipped as a person who values themselves to receive that abundance. So when you receive it now, you're not just going to give it away. You can be generous, obviously, but I'm saying when your understanding of your worth and your value, and that everything you've ever done to plant those seeds along the way, to manifest, to grow, to evolve, to learn, to transform, to transition, all of that is bringing you into this state of abundance, or whatever it is for you. Perhaps you had relationships where you were predominantly a chaser or overgiver. Now you're coming into relationships where, because you can meet your own needs, you're not going to be as needy in relationship. You have effectively disabled a codependent pattern within yourself. And you can be on either end of the spectrum here. It's just 12-12 on the timestamp. You can be empathic, you can be narcissistic, whatever it is for you. Selfless, selfish, wherever you are on that scale. I mean, if we're in the lines of a spiritually awakened soul that is evolving, then you're going to be coming into a more balanced state of being. So you're actually not able to accept the level of imbalance you might have been able to accept before, because you don't need to explore that energy anymore. You're releasing the need to learn that pattern or that lesson. And you're going to be coming into some new lessons, and those are likely to be involved with success. So you succeeding, you living your dreams, you being in a healthy relationship, probably the healthiest relationship you've ever been in with yourself, and could be another person, soulmate, soul tribe, twin flame, soul bond, life partner, whatever it is for you. This is a really integral time where we have completed some really epic and very challenging, you guys. I don't know about you. Some of you have gone through little challenges. Some of you have gone through major upheaval and challenges. I feel like this has been one of the darkest and most challenging times in my life to stay focused on optimism and believing in my dreams, believing in myself. If nobody else believes in me, I have to believe in myself. So the same goes for you guys. If you are an entrepreneur, if you have ideas and dreams and nobody else is believing in you, you have to believe in yourself. Okay, that's very important at this time. So don't give up. If you're in that stage of giving up, please ask for help. Seek therapy outside of yourself. Maybe check in with a healer that you trust and that you know. You have a lot of information at this time, and yet spirit will still have mysteries unfolding and evolving at the perfect and right time for you. So if you've been really resisting the idea of divine timing and are wanting to rush things, I've been there, definitely, because you want out of the pain, you want out of the suffering, You want into the glory. You want into the abundance, right? So yes, continue being in that mindset. Like Jocelyn is saying, I'm wealthy, I'm healthy, I'm beautiful. And that's another thing that can come up when you're at the tail end of these cycles, you guys, the negative self-talk, right? And it's just coming up to remind you how important it is to be kind to yourself, to be kind to your ancestors and your team and Mother Earth. If our bodies are Mother Earth, they are made up of compounds that are Mother Earth, then when we are saying, I'm fat, I'm ugly, or I'm a failure, or I just can't get anything right, we're actually telling Mother Earth that too. Like, hey, bitch, you ugly. And no, we don't often do that purposefully when we are out in nature. Usually nature is that commonality where we are in awe, whether it's the stars, whether it's a sunrise or a sunset. Usually nature has that beautiful capacity to heal and ground and comfort us in ways that are magically unexplainable, right? So try to remember how connected you are when you get into those times of deep discomfort. You can start to unravel, right? And it makes sense because even if you think about a crystal, right, if it has its protective covering and you're going through a soul lesson or a journey or a relationship, karmic cycles, it could be a twin flame dynamic. And if you think about it shaking and it's like, right, you might lose like some bits and pieces from it shaking. And so, yeah, you might feel a bit discombobulated or irrational or like you're crazy or you're losing your mind. But really, you're just shaking loose to get to the crystal inside, right? When we talk about the idea of pressure making a diamond, that's what's happening. And unfortunately, part of our, fortunately or unfortunately, whichever way you want to look at it, part of our experience here is pain and suffering. And that is how we relate, and that is how we learn, and that is how we grow. But we do not have to immerse ourselves in that energy. And there does come a point where we must we must remove ourselves from that energy. We must go forward. We must move forward with as much courage and strength as we can muster and welcome, that next step, that next phase, even if we have no idea what it is, right? We must prepare ourselves to welcome in this new energy to receive what we have manifested, what we have, invested in from our true heart's desires. Because yes, we learn some hard lessons, you guys, when we are closing patterns, because those patterns are most often subconscious, meaning we are not fucking aware of them to the extent in which we can heal them. So that's why when you have a relationship and you're mirroring and you're triggering and there's conflict and there's competition, it's doing that because that's the shaking. That's the shaking process that I was just talking about, right? And now we're in a stage, and we'll see what the cards have to say. And I am interested. Sorry, it's a longer channel or intro, but I'm interested to see, because when you shake that away and when you are able to see the limitations of your own ego, then you can actually look at other people so differently. Instead of coming into it needy or competitive or very insecure, you can come into it more confident, more relatable. So coming in as an equal, okay, you do your part, I do mine. You can recognize when there's an imbalance instead of not understanding when there's an imbalance because you're used to being off balance. So now it's like, okay, all right. Our relationships, our communication could very well be more compatible, more clear, and focused on the soul instead of the ego. So when you check your own ego, when you're aware of tendencies and mistakes, whether it's manipulation or overgiving or being needy, emotionally available, unavailable, too available, etc. When you're aware of that, you're not projecting it onto the other person, right? And if you do, you're able to be accountable. Oh shit, I'm sorry. That is me totally, smothering you because I'm insecure, you might leave or whatnot, right? So you guys, huge leaps and bounds here. Even if it's not fully visible to you, you have evolved and changed so much. There is more to come. Okay, so if you feel like giving up, just know, one step at a time, one breath at a time. If you're having anxiety or depression, if you're moving towards, the word just slipped out of my mind, substances, because now is the time where you choose, right? How are you going to cope with the pain? Are you going to use substances and distract yourself? Or are you going to face your shadows? Are you going to face this pain? And I know it's not that simple, but for this, for all intents and purposes, I'm just going to say it as it is. We have a choice here to learn how to cope, to ground in healthier ways as we move forward, right? So if you are struggling with addictions, if you are struggling with anxiety or depression, there are a lot of helpful tools and resources, such as therapy, such as exercise, such as self-care, talking to friends, be open to receiving, asking for help. If you need help, be willing to ask for help. If you overeat, recognize that there's other ways to ground yourself other than eating. So you can ground yourself through meditation. You can ground yourself by going for a walk, being barefoot. You can ground yourself with your animals if you have a cat or dog or birds or whatnot, or you could volunteer to connect with animals. Animals are very grounding. Say if you're lonely, if you're isolated, sometimes you're going to naturally be in that state. But if you want to be out of that state, connect online, connect in person safely, or like I said, connect with an animal, right? So anyways, I just want to say, you guys, you have done amazing, okay? And if you don't feel it, you've done amazing. So accept the accomplishments and the successes that you have, whether it's within you or without, whether you can see it materially or not. You have come a long way, okay? You have evolved, you have transformed into a new version of yourself. So be proud of yourself for that. And if no one else sees it, you're good enough, you're worthy enough to just see it for yourself, okay? So I hope you guys know that, how special, how amazing you are, how needed you are, wherever you are in your journey. If you're feeling atrocious or if you're feeling super, jazzed and excited about life, wherever you are on this journey at this moment in time, I see you, I recognize you, and I send out so much love because we are all connected in one way or another. And it does really, suck when you are going through those deep challenges. So let's see what Spirit and my guides and our team has to bring in for us today. I'm doing mostly a general. And sorry if I'm talking a little bit funny. I chomped so hard on the inner part of my cheek while I was sleeping the other night that I have like a huge sore in there. So it is a little bit swollen. You can probably tell now that I pointed out. But anyway, if I'm talking a little bit weird, it's because I basically tried to eat my own cheek by accident. Which brings us to sleeplessness and insomnia and that kind of thing, guys. Unfortunately, when we're leveling up, our spirits are astral projecting or, having telepathy with soulmates and twin flames and ancestors passed over loved ones. So hang in there, and yeah. Stay with us. Stay with us. You are connected. You are connected. You are important. All right. So I'm going to go past, present, future. These messages for everyone, these are general. And then I have a little pile at the end, which is more formulated towards romance. There is an energy of romance in the air. There are destined, fated connections happening right now. And there's a lot of moving parts to those. And so stay humble and patient about your journey if you are really seeking love. Allow yourself to surrender to that process. It can be really challenging as well. Let's dive in. All right. So in the past, we have align your life. What is no longer in alignment with who you truly are? So this is reinforcing this energy that we have been shedding. And we were fractured versions of ourselves going through this really heartfelt and spiritual awakening of letting go of the pieces of ourselves that didn't serve us anymore. And also recognizing that in, partnerships, in coworkers, in bosses, in family members, where, they weren't in alignment with us because they weren't in alignment with themselves. So now we're all doing this healing work, and have a better awareness of what is in alignment and what we can and cannot accept in our lives. So we also have the star. This is so beautiful. So, coming back to this place of hope, when we're in this place where we have towers and realignments, we can get really hopeless. We can really struggle. We can turn to those addictions. We can turn to like sex or meaningless connections. You can turn to meaningful ones too, but in the energy of the align your life, there's this fracture. And sometimes when you have this fracture, you panic and you go for the comforts, to dull and numb the pain or disassociate, right? So this is all about hope. The star is about hope. And, you are the star in your own life. When it comes down to it, that person that is going to persevere, that person that's going to believe in you when no one else does, that person that understands what you've been through, and what your insecurities truly are and how deep they truly go, that's you. So you are the biggest guiding light in your own life. But when you can see the light and the shadow aspects in life, it's really important to stay focused on that healing energy that is possible when you're coming out of those tower moments or karmic relationships where you're just learning a little bit more about who you are in relationship. So there is hope here, you guys, for the future. So in the past, we have last place. Someone is too focused on others and putting themselves last. This may be someone who resonates as an empath or caregiver. The need to overgive comes from a need to feel validated through giving. You are worthy of receiving too, as there needs to be equal balance in a relationship. It's time to put yourself first. So as I said, wherever you were on the spectrum, in the past, you were healing any energies or predominant energies that allowed you to put yourself last, that allowed you to seek approval so much or seek validation so much. And you may have realized it or not, that you were giving yourself away when there was an imbalance of give and take. So now, with this star card as well, this hopefulness, you don't have to be in last place anymore because you're not going to put yourself last. Okay. You know how important you are. You know that, yes, the feminine receiving and the masculines are very busy working on this too, working on receiving, right? So that they can give in a new way, totally new way. And then we have endless possibilities. We also have star energy here too. So when you come to this point where there's a void or there's this energy of, I don't know, okay, what do I want? When we're going through the crumbling, you're healing, but you're also looking at your priorities. You're also observing yourself kind of from an outsider's perspective and perhaps through other people's perspective of you. There could have been lots of bumps and challenges. There could have been gossip. There could have been toxic behaviors. There could have been arguments. A lot of this came up in the past so that we can see, 1, how we communicate, 2, how available are we? 3, are we willing to be accountable? And then moving forward in that, it's like, okay, now I need to evolve and change. And I'm okay with being a different version of myself. What does that mean? We can look at all these possibilities now, and it was just 2929 on the timestamp, so we have 1111 in the way there. And then This is also an 11 card too. So we have 11, 11, 11, 11. There's a lot of mirroring. There's a lot of this energy of seeing ourselves in others and allowing ourselves to be transformed by our relationships with others too. And having hope for ourselves and humanity, I guess. But there are endless possibilities happening here as we let go of the old possibilities and restricted versions of ourselves. We have Starseed. Many of you guys, you are healers. You are here. You're meant for more than just to kind of go through life, pop out a few kids or have a job or create or write a book. You're here for more than that. You're an explorer, okay? You're a psychonaut. You're a mystic. You're a dreamer. You might be very intelligent. And when you're trying to conform, you're losing all of that creative energy. And now this is the time with this endless possibilities. Now you're recognizing, you're going, okay, get out of my way. If you are not going to support me, if you don't actually believe in me, you just want to, hold me down or keep me stuck in your patterns. No, you know that you are empowered to move away from that now because you're a starseed, you're galactic, baby. You are from a different place, okay? So you're here and you're working on evolving and providing a leadership role as someone who can evolve and change and grow and not be held back or held down by societal restrictions and your own restrictions. And that's a really big one too. You can change your mind so that you can evolve and grow past your own limiting beliefs too. So heavy messages coming through for the past as well. Let's see what's in the present. The ever unfolding rose. Cracked open, it's happening for you, not to you. So we're moving and oscillating between where we see ourselves in a victim role and or external locus of control. And I'll explain that a little bit. It's like, so something shitty happens. So you get into a car accident. Okay, well that happened to me. I'm a victim. This is what it did. Rah. And you can stay in that energy for a very long time. Or you can go at some point, you're not going to do this right away, but at some point you might go, okay, that allowed me to slow down. That allowed me to be more grateful for my physical body, be more grateful for my capacity to live and engage in life. And then you can move in and out of being empowered in that energy and feeling disempowered in that energy. So when we're learning and growing, we're actually just moving between those two, feeling empowered and disempowered. So both are natural. But when you're talking about this ever unfolding rose, when you're, we think about fractal images, they go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. So your capacity for growth is endless. Okay? When you say yes, your capacity for growth is endless, right? And we go back to this endless possibilities here, right? So when we're stuck, it's just we're not in that energy of receiving and or emitting that endless possibility energy. We're kind of going, what the fuck? Okay, I feel really stuck here. I feel really stagnant here. And that can constrict and restrict us. So it's learning, okay, how do you go into a solution-based energy and go, okay, all right, what is this actually doing for me? And like I said, you're probably not going to have that as a predominant energy all the time. But the more you can go there, the more times you can go, okay, what is this teaching me? What did this teach me? And not get too attached to that either. It's a fine balance. The more you can actually be thankful for some of the energy that cracks you open. And that can be heartache. It can be loss of a job. It can be loss of a home or loss of a friend. These things crack us open to new levels of emotional availability or emotional depth, right? So we also have strength. That's perfect. We're learning our own strength here, okay? Because if you're over giving, you're very strong. but you're not allowing your partner or your person to be strong. You're enabling them to actually be kind of inferior in your energetic sphere. So if you're equal, then you're allowing both parties to be strong and in their strength. And the other side too, if you're prone to manipulative behavior, it's like when you're manipulating someone, trying to control them, you're taking away their strength too. So then you have to, come back into your own strength. And both parties do that when they feel insecure. So if you're in this strength energy, you can go, okay, this happened for me, so I can gain strength in this energy. I could go from codependent to interdependent. I can go from needy to meeting my own needs. Or I can go from manipulating to going, whoa, I have a pattern here, and I manipulate people to try to control them because my childhood felt uncontrollable. Okay, that's huge. That's strength. That's confidence. That's courage, baby. Let's keep going. So let's see. Movement. Yes. Cha-ching. Movement. A higher perspective has been seen and understood. So Spirit has been working with each of us to show us different pieces of our evolution and growth, different parts of our connections with others, different parts of our patterns and our behavior, the way we treat others and the way we allow ourselves to be treated by others. Personal blocks have been removed, and it is time to move forward with a sense of renewal. One cycle is finishing as another cycle begins. Bingo. Be open to communication and action. So that one is also huge. When you're healing, you do have to go into hermit energy at some point, right? You have to go within and assimilate the lessons to understand them to a certain extent that you can move forward and go, okay, I got that. I allowed that lesson in, and I will take that lesson forward with me. And I'm going to let go of the past energies that got me there, including that pain now. Spirit is saying, you have permission to let go of the pain now that's associated with the past, okay? So you give yourself permission, because when Spirit is saying movement, it's time for communication and action. That's big when we've been in Hermit and Hanged Man energy for years, possibly. I've been in it for like 2 years. I'm like, do I need to wait any longer? Rah! Right? Have this energy kind of this, I don't know. You want the action. You want to engage. You want to communicate. You want to show up in a different way for yourself and others. And it's that lifelong learner in you that's beautiful, because you allow yourself to grow and evolve, and you actually kind of get off on it in a way, right? You want to, when you leave this planet, when you leave this plane, you want to have done your best, right? So be open to communication and action. There's also this element of fear here. You're being fearless in this. So in this past, when you were integrating, assimilating, understanding, healing, you weren't really in the energy to actually communicate, even if you wanted to, or take action, because you didn't have the clarity energetically, mentally, or spiritually, or the alignment, right? So now Spirit is saying, if you're watching this, you're ready for action, you're ready to communicate, because you have the foundational tools to communicate in a healthy way. You have the clarity to move forward with action. Whoa, hello. Waking the Lion. This is so awesome. Okay, and if you guys don't know, the Strength card in the tarot deck also has a lion, symbolizing this beautiful strength. Sometimes it's a tiger, but this one has this beautiful lion. And, I think we are coming into Leo season soon. So don't forget your strength, okay? All of these lessons, the cracking, the breakdowns, the breakthroughs, the failures, the mistakes, the successes, they have really been shaping and strengthening you to a huge extent. So Waking the Lion, I'm going to read this because I'm not super familiar with her deck yet, and I want to see what this says. Okay. Boldness, the courage to move forward even without knowing the way. Holy bingo bango. I can say to you guys, I am blind as a fucking bat right now, okay? But that is part of some of the lessons that I've been through in my life. I've been through it. Okay? Don't believe me? Okay. So, when you're flying in the dark, it is a very, very weird feeling because you're vulnerable, right? You're very vulnerable, especially if you don't know where you're headed. Whoa. I do have to say, this is the first time I've never actually had a concrete goal in front of me. And I'm flying very much so, as a co-creator with spirit, listening to my intuition and trusting to the amount that I can, because I do have some trust issues now, but I'm still willing to move forward. I'm still willing to explore what's next, even if I can't see it. So if you guys are there too and you're not really sure where your path is taking you, that's totally okay, right? This is part of the reason why you're a starseed, because you're born for this. You were born to be able to move forward when you cannot see where you are going. Okay, you're still going to be cautious, you're still going to be discerning, but you are going to move forward even if you cannot see the way. All right, regardless of the outer conditions right now, you can't wait for your fear to lessen before you move forward. In fact, despite the chaos and seeming disarray, you must be bold. Whatever your trepidation, act as if you have deep trust that all will be well. So fake it till you make it. If you don't trust that things are going to work out for you, that there are endless possibilities, or there is abundance for you, that there is a healthy relationship for you, that there's an amazing career for you, that you could have a successful business, right? If you don't really trust, fake a little bit of that trust. Go, what if I can actually trust this? Nothing is promised to you, but you will never truly see magic if you don't take the risk. Come to the edge of certainty in your life. And this is where we all are, right? And leap into the unknown. You have no guarantee of immediate success. Still, you must summon your bravery in the face of possible pain, failure, or even success, and own your power. So if you want to write a book, write it. If you want to start a business, start it, right? Start making the steps. Small little action steps are perfectly fine. But be bold in what you want to do next, because there's a reason that energy is coming to you now. There's a reason, because you're ready to succeed. Maybe before, you wouldn't have allowed yourself to actually succeed and receive the abundance that was waiting and ready for you, right? You might have pushed it away or sabotaged it in the old energies, but now you're actually ready to succeed. You're ready to leave behind some of the comforts of the past. The act of making this leap, no matter the final outcome, awakens the lion within, right? Be proud of who you are and who you are becoming. No one can take this away from you. What type of courage is called for today? Only you know, and only you have the power to choose your path. Know that it takes just as much strength and bravery to love and be vulnerable as it does to confront a personal challenge or physical obstacle. So we do things in different ways, right? So call on your strength and stand your ground, or consciously temper your emotional reactions, do nothing, and trust in your partnership with the divine. Whatever your choice, you will not fail as long as you act with courage and integrity. So we have the feminine and the masculine happening there, right? Taking action and receiving and allowing while tempering your emotions. So you're consciously receiving, and that's not the same as just waiting for everything else to happen to you. You're purposefully in a state of receptivity. I might do readings at the very end here, but it seems like this is a longer reading, so I might not. To answer your question there, R. Davis. So whatever your choice, you will not fail as long as you act with courage and integrity. So just remember that, you guys. What a beautiful card. So awesome. Okay. And to clarify that, there we go. Codependency. So I've been talking about this multiple times in this reading. And this is where it's like we're moving away from that. And codependency is all about control and knowing what's happening and not being vulnerable, right? Because when you're truly vulnerable, So in relationship, if you're truly vulnerable, that person might leave, and you have taken that leap or come to the edge, so to speak, to go, okay, if they leave, I'm okay. And it's just 444 on the timestamp there. When you're in codependency, you're thinking, I'm not going to be okay if they leave. So you either sabotage them so that they do leave, but you're in control of them leaving because you're sabotaging it, or kind of the opposite. You're giving way too much, and you're totally suffocating or smothering a partner because you're taking up all the energy, and that doesn't allow you to take this leap in vulnerability, right? So this is a big shift for us to move out of that energy. To be open to communication and taking action means we're ready. It means we're capable, right? It means we are interdependent with spirit and other people, right? We can meet our own needs here, or at least we're very close to being able to do so. Okay, so future line here. We have protection, all right? Call back your power, cut the cord, soul retrieval. I've been seeing lots of snails, and yes, it does have to do with the fact that it's been raining out. But when I see snails, it indicates to me a couple things. When you are spiritually awakening and or leveling up or going through dark nights of the soul, dark years of the soul, dark weeks, months of the soul, you are vulnerable within yourself, whether you know it or not. When you're learning that growth, spirit wants to protect that growth, okay? Even if you don't. So spirit will protect you from certain people or situations, job places, where it's like, okay, this is actually way more important than so-and-so staying in this relationship, staying in this job. So that's when the tower moments come in. And those relationships get removed, or you have to quit your job, or you have to move to a new space, or you have to leave a toxic relationship, or you have to go get therapy for your own toxicity. This is just saying you are very divinely protected right now as you move into this new phase. So even in that vulnerability, you do have to be discerning. You do have to protect yourself, clear your energy, take accountability. Knowing, okay, I'm powerful, I'm strong, but I'm also vulnerable here as I move forward in this unknown. And so I'm just going to be aware of that. I'm going to take things slow. Even if I'm taking action, I'm going to, think about what I'm going to say, not go crazy and go into overthinking and procrastination, but I'm going to balance myself enough so that I can handle whatever's coming next, whatever's coming my way. So we have Two of Swords. All right. So that might explain some of this protection energy when it says call back your power, cut the cords, soul retrieval. So, when we have the Two of Swords, it's about a decision or indecision, or weighing options as well. But we're in the head, we're in the mind, right? So we're weighing things analytically. So you can also, I get the message here also to protect yourself a little bit from overthinking as well, because when you've come out of all of that entanglement and just the intensity of it, you need a little bit of a breathing break. You need some space. You need to be able to observe kind of impartially. And when you're overthinking or you're in anxiety, you can't do that. And it's hard to take action when you're going, which one? So it's like, okay, it's come to a point here where you have to make a decision. You have to choose, and you have to go with the highest and best for you. And Spirit is asking to lean towards that growth, right? Lean towards that spiritual evolution of the self. In this picture, I'm just trying to look at this picture here. There is love on offer in this picture here. And this person is cloaked, they're hooded. So it kind of gives the energy of the priest or the priestess. So there is divine knowledge here. There is telepathy. There is a knowing that Spirit is helping you move in a specific direction here, and or at least to be the best version of yourself. But we have an offer. We have this little goose, swan, at the bottom, offering a flower. And then we have this other swan, we'll say, that has the heart here, but it's dangling below, right? So it's not actually this swan's heart on offer, but it's dangling, and this swan is offering love. So it is possible here that we will have an offer of love, okay? And you will have to make a decision on what's best for you. But Spirit is saying it is time for action. It's time for communication. So be open to giving and receiving open communication, because you're in a new spot, but also protect your energy, of course, right? You're going to have to see the growth, understand the growth that's happened. Don't just take it at face value. And we have joy. It is a time to invite joy into your life and your relationships. At times, relationships can become challenged by distractions and ego desires. It is an important time in a deepening relationship to balance work and play. Find time to focus on the playful essence of your soul and play together. Embrace your inner children and go have some fun. So this communication, or this openness, this understanding of who you were in the past and how that affected the outcome, how that affected your reality and the decisions that you made and where you are now, that might give you a new lease on life to go, okay, I've been through enough pain. I've been through enough darkness. I've been through, addictions. I've been through codependency. I am ready to have a little bit more of a lighthearted experience. I want relief, and I'm going to move myself towards healthy ways to have more joy and playfulness in my life. So connect with people who make you laugh, right? Who make you smile, who inspire you to create, to inspire you to be the best version of yourself, right? Those are the people you want to be around, not just in that comfort zone, or people with toxic energies because you see yourself as not good enough or not worthy enough, right? So it's time to start seeing yourself as worthy of being near people who are inspiring, and to get your energy into a good enough space where you're actually able to connect with those people, right? Smoke and mirrors. Oh, hello. This is an interesting one. I'm going to have to read this one too. This is resonating to the number 6. So, and I was talking about this at the beginning, reality and illusion. Right now, Spirit could come through. I mean, I think we've got Saturn going, or Saturn, something big happening with Saturn. Could be retrograde, Mercury retrograde. There could be some big revelations here. Totally, I mean, expected and unexpected, depending on where you're at with your psychic energies and intuition. But overall, even if you are as psychic as they come, there's still going to be some surprises coming your way. So smoke and mirrors, seeing through the lens of past conditioning, the inability to recognize the truth of what is being offered, healing from misguided perceptions, moving beyond the illusion of separation, being accountable for your biases and the way you view the world. Holy shit! This is huge, right? If you're hearing this, I hope you get how powerful this is and what we have just moved through. It is incredibly powerful to be able to note your own biases. Okay. So it says, we're actually built to view the world inaccurately. Our 5 senses tell us we are separate from one another. We're conditioned to see time as linear. This creates a consciousness of delineation, separation, and finality. We have an innate fear that what we see is all there is. Although we know deep down there is more, we are suspicious of it. Our fear of death results from this kind of perception. The entire world is a construct of smoke and mirrors, and our job is to discover the truth that lies beyond this illusion. Discoveries at the frontiers of science align with what the ancients have known. At the atomic level, we are blinking lights and empty space. Consciousness is fundamental. Time can be bent, and we are eternal. Ask yourself if what you see is really just what you are looking for. What do you sense beyond your intellectual assessment of what is? Can you drop into your heart and soul and call for a vision, a feeling, an awareness of the truth and authentic? Every day, remind yourself that you are intrinsically connected to all life. The universe needs you to learn about it. So learn about yourself. You have within you extraordinary magic with which to co-create life beyond your wildest expectations. We're coming back to this. You're a star seed. You're not meant to play small, okay? You're not meant to constantly be in pain and suffering. There will come a point where you're going to fucking fly here. And this, Spirit is saying, if you expect just the same experiences from the past, even if you've gone through it, even if you have been through very challenging times in your life, still, to have that hope and go towards your dreams still after setbacks and failures and discouragement, that shows your strength. That shows your courage. All right, so let's get back to here. Today, trust the inner voice that reminds you that you truly will find what you seek and more, even if outer conditions appear to challenge that. It's all smoke and mirrors. Things are not exactly as they seem. It always makes me laugh a little bit when Spirit throws down that gauntlet, because you're like, oh, okay. You can be thinking you're going this way, and Spirit's like, actually, woo, wham, and you're off, in this trajectory that you never saw coming. So there are some out of the blue moments, Spirit is laughing, and I can hear my God laughing, and they do think it's funny, and I call them out on it all the time. It's not funny. You come here. It's not funny, right? But anyways, and I do get a little goofy sometimes, so you'll have to bear with me. But yeah, Spirit is saying it is not what it seems. So that's another part of the not giving up, you guys. If it seems like your life is in total disarray, if it seems like you have no money and you're like, okay, cool, didn't see that coming. All right. If it seems like everything, you have nothing, or you're a failure, or you didn't meet your dreams or whatnot, Spirit is saying you are closer than you realize. Okay. So you might have an idea, whereas before you weren't ready to act on it. Now you are, and Spirit's ready and willing and just is already there to help you succeed, to help that seed grow, evolve, blossom. All right. So things are not as they seem. Galactic Council. So starseeds, the Galactic Council is helping you. You have help from the sky. You have help from wherever it is, Arcturian, Pleiades. There's another star here that's wanting to come through. What is it? Oh, it's Sirius. Okay, so Sirius, Pleiades, Arcturian. If you recognize or relate to that, or you want to go research it a little bit, go for it, because there's an energy, like you have a lot of earth energy helping you. So animal totems, grounding, frequency, different binaural beats, different hertz levels that you can be practicing with by meditation. There's tons on YouTube. You're being helped above and below, okay? Ancestors, past over loved ones. You're being helped by your higher self. You're being helped by your soulmate's higher self, your twin flame's higher self, if you have one in this lifetime. You're being helped by so many energies. Just remember, even in your loneliest moments, even when you're crying yourself to sleep, okay, there is help around you, okay? So sometimes we don't get to feel that comfort or warmth. We just have to trust that, okay, let's give this another day. Okay, let's give this another breath. Let's give this another moment that I can be conscious and aware and moving forward, right? Okay, so finally we have our love cards here. And this, at the base of it all, there's so many of us that are evolving so much. It's pretty wild. It's cool to think that there's tribe members out there that are also evolving and growing in this capacity, right? They weren't afraid. They didn't get taken down by the fears and the doubts and the blocks. So, you guys, there is tribe here that, is connected to you, that understands the depths, right, of your dreams and what you've been through. So, keep an open mind. It says your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. And I believe this card also indicates that you might have already met this person. They might have already been in your life, whether you actually have connected with them by talking with them, or Maybe it's just a friend of a friend or an acquaintance of a friend. Keep an open mind. And that's another thing Spirit's saying with these endless possibilities. When you really drop into your highest self and your highest being and that connected nature of all things, you truly can understand that love doesn't just die. It doesn't just end, right? So even if you had a relationship that ended, there is still love there between you and that soul, that foundation. Because whether they were an ally or adversary, you still helped shape each other into the person that's listening right now, or me who's speaking right now. I was shaped by heartbreak. I was shaped by, successes and failures too. So Spirit is saying, keep an open mind. There's more than one possibility here, right? So just continue to follow your heart, continue to communicate, take action, be ready to receive, get excited, and have an open mind. Try not to close your energy off to. And yes, Jocelyn, quickly too, right? You can feel it. You can feel the immediacy. And that can be exciting, and or it can cause some anxiety if you attach too much to it. And I did that because I'm psychic. I have these energies going. I'm talking to people. I'm talking telepathically to people coming in, telling me things. I'm going, where are you? Like, come on. I want to wake up to you in the morning and have breakfast, or take me out on a date. Let's go. What are you waiting for? So it's kind of funny, but you can, when you're intuitive, right? And they're here, like they're coming around the corner. They're just tying off some loose ends, or they're just healing a little bit more, or understanding a lesson so that you guys can come towards each other as equals. It is funny because you can get attached to that, and then it like pushes the energy away, and you're like, what? No, like, no, right? So this life, there are times when we cannot laugh at it, and often I'm very dramatic and I'm there. But right now, I do feel like sometimes this life is just batshit hilarious. Like, you can't make some of this stuff up. Some of the things we go through is just totally insane. So here we go. Keep an open mind. And this could be the one. Yeah, baby. So you've already met the romantic partner you seek. I said it once. The cards were pulled. Said it again. You have most likely, if you're watching this, already met the romantic partner that you are calling in. Okay? So somebody has feelings for you. And I don't like to just do the catch-all, you may have met them in a past life, blah, 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 because then it's hard to clarify between the two, if you know what I'm saying. So my understanding of this is that you have likely already met this person in this lifetime, okay? So there is communication and action that needs to happen here, because there's some reason why you still have to be open-minded about this, right? So there might be a little bit of a shocking energy that comes through with this, Could be someone that you didn't really think about anymore. Or some way you think there's too much water under the bridge, or you don't even know they have feelings for you at this point. And they're working up the courage to, or you're working up the courage, the viewer, you're working up the courage to tell someone how you feel after all this transformation. Whoa. We have loyal heart. Holy moly. This is from my Shadow and Light, or Soul Indicators deck. And it basically, I have totally equal light to shadow aspects here. So a shadow aspect to here would be like a cheating, right? Like not loyal. But this energy is saying, like, this person, this energy between the two of you, there's a spiritual loyalty here. Okay, so there's something that Spirit wants to be brought through to you. And so there might be some magical moments here, serendipity, synchronicity, that Spirit's really bringing you together. So even if you try to run away from it, Spirit will be like, hey, guess what? You're going to bump into that person around the corner. So this is why it's good for you to be grounded and confident in who you are right now, whether you have money or you don't, whether you feel like sexy in your body or you don't. Try to come into a place here mentally, emotionally, physically, where you can accept yourself exactly how you are right now and know that you're totally worthy of love right now. All right. We all need to work on things. We've all made mistakes, but there is this energy of knowing who you are. Okay. You're always lovable. You always deserve love in some form or another. And if you're calling this in, and you've called this in spirit, and your whole team and the Galactic Council is helping you come together, do we want to push this away? Probably not. It's probably going to have something to do with your path in terms of creating. You might write a book with this person. You might create workshops that help millions of people, okay? You might not do anything so crazy. You might have a child together, or you might build a home together. But whatever this is for you, it's something that your heart has dreamt of, okay? So keep it on going. Shadow cycle. All right. So it's been a challenge. Both of you have been through an extreme shadow cycle. So you're both tired. You both have been through the ringer. You're both new versions of yourself, whoever you are, no matter whether you know each other or not, or you knew each other, whether you're speaking or you're not. You've both been through a lot. So there are many new aspects of yourselves that you would need to reconnect on. Harmony. This is awesome. So where there was disharmony before, there's going to be harmony. Okay. Because you've earned it. You did the work. Okay. This is awesome. I love it. What's interesting is they're both kind of like shadowy cards, right? It's a little overcast today too. So, and there's the light for you. Anyway, so there's this beautiful energy that the spirit is saying, yeah, we know you've been through it. We know we put you through it because we were helping you evolve and crack open, right? But yeah, both of you have been through shadow. So be gentle, patient, take it slow. There has to be action. You have to take action. You have to, like Spirit said, come to the edge, right? So if you have feelings for someone, you're not sure how they're going to respond, come to the edge, right? Take that leap, send that message, make that phone call. And alternatively, be receptive, be open to communicating, be open to what the universe has for you, be open to those endless possibilities. Ancient wisdom. So rely on that. Your Galactic Council, there for a reason, because you're ancient, because you have ancient wisdom. And that might be part of what you unlock and bring out, especially when you two come together, literally and figuratively. There's this creativity that's going to result in your connection, and especially now at this stage in your life, whatever that is for you, right? This person's coming in at a time when you've both transformed, transitioned, knocked off a lot of the ego energies that were holding you back. We're sabotaging you. We're allowing, codependency and rigid patterning and biased beliefs to really, unfortunately, set you back in love so that you can learn how to love more or healthier, right? So, message from your person. I distracted myself with a karmic partner because I couldn't face my shadow side. Okay, so when we have this person, you might have already met this person. They could have just come out of, a karmic cycle where, and what this kind of means is when you meet a soulmate or a twin flame, it goes so deep, so fast because you know each other's souls and you're kind of designed to mirror and trigger the kind of worst parts of you, like the beast in you. If we think Beauty and the Beast, like that person will trigger the beast. So you're going to be like your neediest self because they're their most insecure self. You're not going to be like at your best because that relationship is designed to transform you. It's a catalyst of transformation, right? So, and hi Hearts Love, welcome to the reading. I might do a couple, just because there's only a couple people on live. I might do a couple of card pulls at the end here. So, there is someone saying, okay, like we all have addictions, we all cope, we all learn in different ways. So one person You might learn from being on your own, not having a lot of sexual experiences, not distracting yourself with too many things going on. So that's even like not a lot of friends, like just keeping to yourself, keeping that energy close. And another person, your partner, might learn by connecting more like at a surface level relationship where they're not investing really deeply. Like they probably don't love this person, or they probably didn't fall in love with this person, but they allowed themselves to connect to a point where they actually learned a couple valuable lessons, maybe some karmic lessons, to help them evolve into the person that you actually need them to be, right? To meet up with you. So that's an energy of understanding karmics. But this person is telling you, I did have a couple relationships, right? Karmic relationships. So meaningful in a way that they helped me evolve, but they weren't a soulmate relationship. Like nothing can compare to what you guys would have together. But they didn't want to face the shadows, so the shadows faced them. And that's like one of the tricks too. You can run, but you can't hide, right? So running from your shadow self, you're still gonna end up facing that shadow at some point. Just might be the hard way. So that's another thing too. Do you want to continue learning the hard way? Or are you going to give yourself permission to enjoy life and have some joy and play and have a more lighthearted approach? So, so awesome. Divine timing. We have this full moon, and I can't remember the date, but I think it's actually coming up really soon because we're at the end of the month here. I got to check now on my app after. But this is a very potent, because, it's an eclipse. That's why my guides are like, it's an eclipse. All right. So very potent time for soulmates, for connection. Stay open, you guys. Stay open. This is another message here from a person here that you've already met. I cheated myself by betraying your trust. I regret it, but can't show that right now. So this person, and it could be you or it could be them, whether or not, they put their energy elsewhere. So they didn't focus on you. This relationship, this connection, right? It was in shadow. So there probably wasn't, you probably weren't on the best of terms, or you probably weren't like really in that close connection here. But Spirit is kind of saying there's something divine and divinely timed with this person, because they're saying I cheated myself by betraying your trust. So there may have been a situation here where you did have trust lost with someone close to you. And this, they're saying I regret it, but they haven't quite been able to find that courage to come forward at the moment and show you they regret it. Show you, like, I am sorry that I created trust issues for you. It was in my damn ego, or, working out my shadow cycle. But they might. And so Spirit is kind of giving us heavy messages here that there may be this a loyalty that is still there, a loyalty that is underlying here, that is going to allow you to, at the least, have some closure at the spirit level. Okay, so that was a big reading, guys, and hopefully that resonated with you. If it resonated with you, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the reading and you're watching. It helps it grow, right? It's about energy. It's about algorithms. If you like my channel, it just shows me, hey, thanks for that free reading, right? If you do want to donate, you can also donate. If you enjoyed some of the card decks here, some of them are mine. I created a few over the last year. So you can also purchase those at makeplayingcards.com. The link is in the description below. And it's just how you feel about energy and where you're at right now in terms of your abundance, in terms of your mindset. But if you can't give back financially, or you don't want give a thumbs up and or subscribe to the channel, then go ahead and do something kind for someone else today, because it is, you know, about giving and receiving. We do want that equal energy. And okay, so we have a couple people on board. If you do want a card pull, and I'm just going to do a single card pull, but if you want a single card pull right now, live, say yes, please, and I will pull a card for you. And then I'm going to sign off and enjoy the rest of my day. All right, stay safe. Here we go. So a message for Stacy. New beginning. Yay. So you have this beautiful purity. You've been going through this purification cycle. So letting go of the way you perceive yourself, your abilities, your goals, your life. But there is this beautiful energy of wisdom here, because we have this white owl up top, and you're opening up to this. And she's also, you know, she's a queen. She's a queen. You're seeing this part of yourself where you are a queen in your glory. Okay. No matter what anything looks like on the outside, remember the smoke and mirrors. Okay. You are a queen in your glory. You are ready for a new beginning. You are ready to receive. You're looking out this window going, okay, endless possibilities, baby. Okay. So there's evolution here for you. Arms are open. You're open. Okay. The energy is open. And this person coming towards you, I do feel like they're going to have a lot of wisdom too. So this isn't going to be something where you're like, you can't see me, or I'm intimidated, because now they have also met themselves at a deeper level that they can go, oh, that's how she is like that. She's already been through these energies. I thought it was just a lie, or they might not have believed you before, but now that they've gone through some of these energies, they can see you for who you are. Okay, so it's a beautiful energy coming through. I'm going to put that one back in the deck. Jocelyn, let's get you a card here. Energy for Jocelyn. Woo! Divine transformation. You are rocking. And I can just feel it. There's this burst of energy, almost like you have like put the neutral mix in your own soil. Spirit's working really close. You've got a really great energy about you right now. So keep that up. There's a nice give and take flow here. I do believe that you're ready for success. I do feel that you know that you've planted the seeds. You know that you've done the work. And so you are allowing yourself to transform. There are elements of you that are still transforming. So don't rush yourself in this, but keep on moving forward. Keep on taking that action, because you're in this, but I feel you're moving. So for some reason, your energy, your spirit doesn't need to have, like, say I had like a year of a timeout. Your spirit doesn't really need to have that long of a time to time out, right? So when you get it, you get it. Now, they're also saying you don't need to rush it. So it's like temperance, tempering yourself, but you are in this beautiful divine transformation right now. So honor that you're there, no matter if you feel like just totally taking the day off completely, or if you feel like taking action and working towards your goals and dreams. Okay, my cheek. I'm so sad that I bit it. And there's not really much you can do. I guess I could put a ice cube in there or something, but okay. And maybe that's symbolic too, that I bit my cheek, right? Amanda, this message is for you. What does Spirit want you to know? Ooh, it looks like there's a couple messages that wanted to come out, but this is the one. Shadow familiar. Okay, so we have the raven and the crow. You might have been seeing raven and crow more often. And if you haven't, Spirit is asking you to pay attention to your shadow familiars, because these animals, they tend to come to you and signify to pay attention, right? So if I'm on a walk or I'm driving and I see a raven flying straight up the highway in front of me or just off to the side, a lot of times they'll follow you. And so what this can indicate is you have shadow familiars. Could be snake. I'm hearing snake. medicine, which is a very healing energy, shedding your skin, but also snakes, when they shed their skin, go into a period of blindness. So you might be feeling a little bit uneasy about something. And so paying attention to the omens or energies, but they're really here to help you. So Amanda, they're definitely here to assist you on your journey. And another thing, this crows are very vocal. Okay, so I think you're working on your throat chakra here. You might be working on a presentation. You might be working on something that comes out into the world through writing or speaking, such as I'm doing right now. You might have your own tarot channel or something like that. So Spirit is saying, yes, that is a part of your purpose here, of you speaking your truth, of you speaking your authenticity, and bringing your wisdom to the table. But there's something to do with this shadow familiar energy. And crows and ravens, they're very vocal, all right? And they work in teams too. So there could be something for you to do with working or cooperating with someone. So pay attention to those animals that are a little bit more on the shadow side, such as bats, such as snakes, such as beetles, or vultures, that are more in that shadow element, that we're not like, oh, it's a butterfly, or oh, it's this, right? Where we usually signify that with angels and guides. Well, the shadow familiars are just as important, okay? So pay attention to those bad boys. And you're so welcome, you guys. So heart love, if you're still kicking around. If you want a card, just put yes, please in the comments here, and I'll pull a card for you. If not, it looks like we're winding down. Tons of love and support to you guys. We're all going through some heavy transformation right now. Of course, we're all going through that heavy transformation in a global pandemic. So be kind to yourself, be gentle to yourself. Sally, let's give you a card here. Sally, good to see you. And all right. Woo! So you've got a couple messages wanting to come through too. Ooh, exhaustion. So I don't know if you're feeling this right now. If you're just coming out of this, or you might have a period here where you're just feeling a little bit off. Spirit is asking you to take the rest when you need it. And if you're feeling that coming on right now, maybe preemptively book a day off, or have an extra long weekend, even though you might not usually want to do that. Spirit's just kind of saying you might need just a little bit of extra time here for your body, your mind, your spirit, just to take a day off, or have a little bit of extra rest here. Because we do have this beautiful sunset here, but you're like, like I'm not even looking. I can't look right now. So this might be a mental exhaustion too. And if we're thinking about love or that kind of energy, you might kind of have just gone, I give up. I'm not even going to pay attention anymore. You might have had that come through your feeling, or your being, or your mind, or your mentality. And Spirit saying, no, it's still there, whether you believe in it or not. But take some rest, okay? So if you have a choice in the next week or a couple days of being extra busy, or saying yes to people inviting you out, go with your gut here. But Spirit's kind of saying, err on the side of caution and say, no, actually, I'm just gonna hang out by myself, right? Or take some extra time to yourself. Okay, so that's your message there, Sally. Yes, there you are. Thought you might still be there. Okay, so hearts, love, this message is for you. This one came out pretty quick. Disappointment. So there's some energy that has you nostalgic. Right here, she's got her arm at her throat too. So I feel like there's some situation that you felt limited in your capacity to speak your truth, or get closure, or just receive some information that you really wanted to move forward. But if you didn't catch the reading, go back and catch the replay, because there's a lot of good information here about this energy. The Spirit is saying it is time for movement. It is time for communication. And so if you feel like you're more stuck in the past energies of disappointment, it's time to make some strategic moves to allow yourself to feel more excited about the future than disappointed about the past. So it can be really challenging, but you can do this. You've got the courage. you've got the wisdom, you've got the awareness, and you do also have this strong throat chakra energy. So yes, so that disappointment energy, it's time for you to alchemize that into something new that serves you. All right, because this whole reading has kind of talked about divine timing, perspective, clearing up some residual blocks, and we can't rush it. And so that impatience and kind of resentment or anger can come flying out, right? Even if we've been really good for a certain amount of time, and then all of a sudden we hit our threshold and we're like, so if you're there, if you're in that energy, it's time to treat yourself, give yourself that benefit of the doubt that you're exactly where you need to be for that communication, for that energy to come in. And so change the focus away from that other person that hasn't taken action yet, and take action within yourself. So treat yourself to something, work on a project that you are excited about or passionate about, or redirect that energy to friends who have been there for you, that trust you, just for now, okay, for the time being, so that you have that beautiful energy of receptivity coming in. So if that person does have the courage and confidence to come forward to communicate with you, that you're receptive and you're not pissed, right? So so that is your message there. So totally, you guys, lots of beautiful messages coming through, lots of powerful people watching. So take care, own your power, and keep alchemizing, aspects of the past into elements that are going to allow you to thrive in the future and in the present, right? But so take care, and we'll catch you next time. Once again, if you want to give me a thumbs up, that'd be great. If you want to subscribe, awesome. And hit the notification bell if you want to know when I go live, because most of the time I do go live. I don't pre-record. So awesome. Take care, you guys. Ciao for now. Bye.